Alright, today we're looking at quadratic functions. They can be written in a variety of forms, so we've already seen these. Standard is when we have y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Vertex is our y equals a, x minus h squared plus k, and our vertex is at hk. And intercept form, which is our y equals a, x minus r1, x minus r2, or r1 and r2 are the roots, or our x-intercepts. These notes can be found on NHS or NetSchool, or you can pause to write down all of these formulas now. The steps that we're going to go through when writing our quadratic functions. The first thing you're going to need to do is read the problem and decide which formula to use, whether it be vertex or intercept. Then you're going to substitute in all the information it gives you to the correct variables. You'll solve for anything you don't know, which is typically going to be a. You're going to rewrite it in simplified form, so rewrite it as y equals whatever you got for a, and then either your x minus h squared or your x minus r1, x minus r2. And finally, you want to check your answer by graphing or plugging in your points and make sure they work with your new equation. The first example says, given, write an equation for a parabola with vertex at -2, 3 that passes through the point -1, 2. Since it gives me the vertex, I'm going to want to use vertex form. So y equals a, x minus h squared plus k. It tells me my vertex. My vertex is always h and k. And the point it gives me is x and y. So since my vertex is h and k, I'm going to first plug that into h and k. So y equals a x minus h squared, so a x minus -2 plus 2 squared plus k, and passes through the point -1, 2. So now we're going to plug in our x and y point. So y is 2. We don't know what a is. X is -1 plus 2 squared plus 3. So we need to simplify so we can solve for a. So we've got a, -1 plus 2 is 1 squared plus 3. 1 squared is 1 times a is 1a. So we've got 1a plus 3. Or you can just write a here. Now we need to solve for a, so since we have this plus 3, we need to subtract 3. So 2 minus 3 would be -1 is equal to a. Now that we know what a is, we're going to plug that back into our formula. We're going to plug it into the one that already has h and k plugged in because we know that's what our h and k is. So our equation will be y equals -x plus 2 squared plus 3. So we have my vertex plugged in, we have my a value plugged in, and this is my equation for my parabola. Again, you can type this into your calculator and check and make sure it has a vertex at -2, 3 and passes through the point -1, 2. Next example says, write an equation for a parabola that has has roots at 1 and -3 and passes through the point -2, -6. So we'll use our intercept form. So y equals a, x minus r1, x minus r2. Oops, r2. See? So 1 is my r1, -3 is my r2. So when we plug that in, we'll get y equals a, x minus 1. And then x minus -3 will be x plus 3. Again, you notice, just like before, our signs actually change. Now we plug in my -2 for x and my -6 for y. So -6 equals a times -2 minus 1 times -2 plus 3. Now we've got -6 equals a times -3 times 1. So -6 equals a times -3 times 1 is -3a. Here, if we divide by -3, then we get a to equal +2. So we'll rewrite our equation, again plugging that back in to the second line where we have our roots plugged in. So y equals 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 3. And again, to check this, you can type it into your calculator. Make sure it has roots at -1 and +1 and -3, and passes through the point -2, -6.